One thing I've learned after 21 years, you never know what is going to come through that door.
Hey guys, welcome to the special. Happy Halloween, everybody. This is my personal favorite holiday. Nothing is more fun to me than waking up half drunk / hungover in the middle of the road in half of a Donkey Kong costume. Speaking of costumes, they actually ran out of costumes at the store. I couldn't get any at Walmart or anything, so this year I'm going as a green screen. With the power of editing, I can just go and look at that. Isn't that fucking cool? But when I'm not giving myself the worst hangover of my life, I'll spend a lot of my time on Halloween frequenting Netflix and Hulu, trying to find bad movies or TV shows or something for Halloween. Bad horror media is plentiful. You can find it anywhere. And today, I'm going to talk about some of these movies. And just so you can get a taste of the sort of thing that we're going to be looking at today here, I'm going to show you a little teaser of our first movie.
Police! There's no telling how many are infected.
Can you promise me one thing? Sorry.
So a big theme of these two movies that we're going to be looking at today is that early 2000s edge. You know what I mean? It's the gore, it's the techno music, it's the weird like video gamey or early internet feeling, and their weird obsession with German culture for some reason as well. And our first movie today is no exception to it. Fear.com is a 2002 horror movie that's about, I don't really know. I've watched this movie twice, and I've flipped through it a couple of times after that, and this movie's just full of plot holes and, like, incoherence. It makes no fucking sense the entire time, and it doesn't try to fix itself until the last, 25 minutes of the movie. And I kind of loved this movie. It's not good, at all. It's pretty fucking bad, but in the best way possible. We kick off this adventure by meeting our protagonist, Mike Riley. Mike Riley is a detective who finds himself investigating a series of murders, beginning with this first guy at the beginning of the movie jumping in front of a train. And in these first few scenes, there's actually already some confusion. There's two different websites that keep getting presented throughout the movie. The actual fear.com, the one that's haunting these people and killing them, spoiler alert, is not this website that shows up at the beginning of the movie, because the website that shows at the beginning of the movie is the one that Alistair hosts all of his tortures and stuff like that on. And it's made clear later on that these are not the same website, but throughout the movie I kept confusing these two websites together. Mike gets a lead on two people that are about to die or get murdered, or some sort of murder at this address, from this German guy that runs into the police station shouting. Mike goes to the address, finds a body in the bathtub upstairs, and then here we meet Jesus.
I wouldn't touch her just yet.
Jesus.
Actually, Terry Houston, Department of Health.
Is now really the time for a, oh, that's not my name, haha, joke, Terry? Is it really that time? So here we're introduced to Terry Houston, a virologist from the Department of Health, who's investigating this body because she believes that it has to do with some virus that's going around where all these people keep getting bloody noses and dying. A quick spoiler here, I don't think that this is even a spoiler, but it's not a virus, it's the website that's killing people, which they find out 5 minutes after this scene, and Terry still follows Mike around the entire rest of the movie as he's trying to do his detective stuff. It's bitch, don't you have a job? Didn't you go to school for 6 years to be a virologist at the Department of Health? And you're following this, small town detective around? That unemployed friend be and then that unemployed friend is just Terry. I can't tell if this is the acting on Mike Riley's part, or if it's the script writing, or if it's the directing, or maybe all three. Every time Mike tries to say something or argue against somebody, nobody responds back to him. It's like he's trying to elicit a response. I mean, look at this clip right here.
Here, huh? I mean, what is it with you people? You just let this shit run wild?
Thanks.
He's going, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? You guys just like let viruses spread all the time. And then Terry goes, and she's like completely fucking ignoring him, like playing with her thumbs or like looking at something else. And now we meet Alistair. Typically, these predatory men that prey on women are either very charming and can charm a woman into like following them into bad circumstances, or they do it in the middle of the night so nobody can see. And what Alistair does is he walks up to this woman acting creepy as fuck in broad daylight, saying, do you want to go to this abandoned warehouse so I can take pictures of you? And she just goes, yeah.
Well, I was filming you because you happen to be the perfect leading lady.
Do you mean that?
So this girl goes to the theater that Alistair was asking her to go to. It looks ominous as fuck, mind you. The lights won't stay on and nobody's like responding, and an organ is playing. And yet she still continues to walk in and announce her presence. They are handing an evil setting to her on a silver platter, and she just goes through with it. But at least she dies in the most early 2000s way possible, with bright flashing lights. Rammstein is playing, and it's a weird cinematography sort of editing thing that they're doing here. So the chief of police here is about to get run up on by this little girl. There's actually a continuity error here. He takes the cigarette out of his mouth like 6 times, but we'd never see him put it back in his mouth. He walks outside, puts the cigarette in his mouth, sees the girl, takes the cigarette like, and then it cuts back to the girl, and then it goes back to him, and he goes and pulls another cigarette out of his mouth. He's like a fucking clown. And this ghost can't just kill this guy one way. She has to, 1, crash his car at full speed, 2, kill him from smoke inhalation, 3, light his shit on fire. This dude's like samsara Buddhism cycle is ruined for 3 generations after this. So Mike and Terry go to the chief of police's wife after he dies, and they ask her if she's been seeing any weird stuff with her husband or anything like that lately. And all she says is, he's been on that damn computer too long.
Always on his computer.
So they take the hard drive out of the computer and they bring it to a data analyst, or like a forensic analyst or whatever they call it. I don't fucking know. And they say, can you get everything off of this? And she goes, yeah, as long as it's not corrupted. If it's not corrupted, why don't you just plug it into a different computer? That's what the point of these data analysts is. This is the worst data analyst I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure the editing and writing process for this movie went a little bit like this. Hey editor, so WBHQ actually just got back to us and they said that the movie wasn't long enough. So I'm actually going to be giving you this. This is a script for an old movie that I made in high school. It also has some files for the movie as well, some scenes and stuff. So I need you to just use that to make the movie longer. Mr. Malone, these don't make any fucking sense. So here we meet Denise. Well, we actually met Denise about 10 minutes ago, but she plays no relevancy into the story at all, so I'm not talking about her until now, just because I think this part is funny, where she's trying to leave the police station after giving Mike and Terry some information. Every time that Denise turns around to try to walk out of the police station because she's like paranoid and wants to get the fuck out of there, Mike will go, wait, Denise. And then Denise will turn around and be like, huh? And he'll say some just dumb shit, and then she'll be like, okay. And then she'll turn back around, and she'll take like 2 more steps, and then Terry goes, wait, Denise! And it happens like 4 times here.
Wait, Denise. Do you think you can...
You sure you're okay?
Denise.
So they find the guy that wrote the book that the guy that got hit by the train was reading and had on him. I haven't mentioned that up until this point because it doesn't matter at all in the story. I'm pretty sure it's just here for filler. The book is called like The Soul of the Internet or something like that, and it's about like the internet having a soul. And they show it to the author that wrote it, and they go, what did you mean by this book? And he just goes, I didn't really mean it. I just kind of wrote it as a joke.
That's because it was a load of shit.
So this book that the guy was carrying doesn't fucking play into the story at all. We just waste 10 minutes here. of the drunk guy at the bar just saying some random shit. But it's crazy because he gives them this look like, oh, he knows more than he's letting on. And then he doesn't come in the rest of the movie, neither does the book. So Denise dies, and Terry and Mike start talking about Denise's death and like what happened. And Terry says this.
In water. Maybe she died of her greatest fear.
I don't know, Terry.
So does that mean the police chief's biggest fear was car crashes or cigarettes or brick walls? Guess what? Just like everything else that I've been mentioning before, this doesn't carry out through the entire rest of the movie because nobody else dies the rest of the movie due to the website. It doesn't even come back around because, so Jeannie is the ghost that's haunting all these people and killing them. Jeannie didn't even die from her biggest fear either or anything like that. It's nothing cheesy like that. She just got killed by Alistair. This walking bag of bricks gets on the fear.com website. And he begins playing along with the bot that's on there. So the bot asks him to find her. He says, what does he get out of it? And all she says is, me, which I don't fucking understand. Minutes after he visits this website, he gets hospitalized, and Terry comes and asks what happens. And all he says is, don't go to this address. So now what do you think Terry does, huh? Does she, A, kill Mike to spare him his misery? B, go back to work at the Department of Health considering she hasn't worked in about 5 days from when this movie started? C, not only go to the address that Mike says not to go to, but unnecessarily visits the fear.com website? Or D, okay, yeah, no, it's just C. Terry finds Jeannie's body and then goes to the hospital that Mike is at. Then she starts flipping out at the receptionist for no reason. And then she goes to Mike's room for like 5 seconds and then immediately leaves and goes to the psych ward, and like shit just starts getting crazy down there. And after like 5 minutes of just random shit down here, she wakes up in a different part of the hospital and everybody's like asking what happened. And all she does is she wakes up and she goes, what time is it? And she jumps up and then just goes home.
What time is it?
She doesn't even wait for like what time is it to be answered or anything like that. And it's funny as fuck too, because I'm pretty sure she says that because she's worried that Mike is like about to die or something. So instead of going to his hospital room, she just runs home. And then Mike is at her house, coincidentally. Woo! Yay! Around here is where we actually start learning like what's going on. So the ghost of Jeannie, the one that's killing all these people, is an old victim of Alistair's. She was tortured and killed and streamed live on this website, which is fucking crazy to think about because she is asking people to help her get revenge on Alistair on her website. She's saying like, can we play a game and find me, and the guilty must be punished and all this shit that she keeps saying. But she kills them for not doing it quickly enough. They get 2 days to figure out what the fuck happened to her, who she is, and how to get to Alistair. And it's like Mike and Terry are actively working on this while they're being cursed. And they find Alistair and like they get like all of this shit together. But Jeannie the whole time is just going, you gotta hurry up. I got somewhere to be. Mike and Terry take Jeannie's body to be analyzed by like a mortician. And they pull out like this like lipstick container or something, and they open it up and it has a note inside of it that says the guilty must be punished, and when they flip it around to the other side, it has an address on it, which is Alistair's home address. They go to Alistair's home, they find out where he's killing people. They find Alistair, and Alistair's still in the middle of torturing this like woman that he got 4 days ago. Mike has the cleanest shot in existence here. Alistair's head is wedged into the corner of this chair. It's impossible to miss his head. There's about 5 inches of space between the girl and Alistair's head, so it's not like it's gonna stray so far. And he doesn't fucking take the shot the entire time. Mike just keeps letting Alistair talk him down from shooting him. And then Mike gives Alistair the most non-fatal gunshot ever by just shooting him in his like lower calf. Alistair knocks Mike the fuck out, beats the shit out of Mike, Terry grabs a scalpel, and then she gives him another extremely non-fatal wound. And then she drops the knife, runs over to Mike, has her back turned to Alistair, and starts crying because Mike is like on the verge of death. So then Terry starts getting the shit kicked out of her. While Alistair's preoccupied, Mike runs over to a keyboard and types in feardotCom. It's actually feardotCom.com. And Jeannie comes and she kills Alistair. So that's the end of fear.com. There was a lot of shit that I left out while I was writing this because I would have made this video like an hour long if I went through every single fucking little like detail that I thought was goofy. So check it out for yourself. It's actually free online. You can get it for free on Amazon Prime. I hate Amazon and I hate supporting Amazon, but it's free. So side note, this movie actually won the worst film awards at the 2003 Dallas Fort Worth like film festival thing that they did, and for that I give fear.com a 7 out of 10. Here we have another movie to add to the early 2000s edgy video game-esque list of horror movies. House of the Dead is based off of the 1996 Sega video game of the same name. This game is like older than me. I've never played it before, but it's considered to be like one of the classic arcade shooter video games. Let's see if the movie lives up to the same expectations. This movie starts off by throwing us 5 different characters at the same exact time. And I don't remember a single one of their names. While I was writing this script, I had to go back to the beginning of the movie when he just says everybody's names at once. And I had to be like, oh, okay. And then type it in later on. Damn, Sega throws the craziest block parties, don't they? Our 5 Stooges are trying to get to this party, but the boat that they were using to take everybody to the island already departed, so they find this fisherman who's named Captain Kirk. No, I'm not making that up. They try to give him some money so that they'll take him to the island, but Captain Kirk goes... They try to give Captain Kirk some money so that they'll take him to the island, but Captain Kirk tells them the reputation of the island, about how there's like dead people there, and how the island's called the Isla de Muerte. I'm sorry if I butchered that at all, but it means island of death. And you think Sega would have planned a little better for the fucking island that they were going to be doing this at. This is a PR disaster waiting to happen. Simon throws an extra $500 on top of the initial $500 that he asked to give Captain Kirk. Simon's our protagonist, by the way. The gang finally makes it to the island, and now we're gonna look at one of the scene transitions, people. What the fuck was that? That was crazy. Everybody makes it to the party, and nobody's there. Nobody except for Alicia. I remember that one. I gotcha. Nobody except for Alicia gives a fuck that everybody's missing.
Yeah, it worries me. It worries me they don't have any mixers. Simon cannot survive on butt alone.
Why did Simon just refer to himself in third person? So these 3 go into the woods because...
Okay, you know what? I'm coming with you. I'm starting to get diabetes from all the sugar over here.
But also to find out where everybody else went to. So the guy and the girl in this scene, it's Greg and Cynthia. Remember those ones too. I fucking died laughing because what happens is Greg picks up Cynthia, launches her into this tent, and then as he's trying to button the tent up to like close it up to give him some privacy, he's going, oh.
Velcro, beautiful Velcro. We are gonna do the humpty bumpty.
Come on,
Humpty bumpty.
And he jumps on her, and then like 3 seconds after that, she just goes, "It's okay, Greg. A lot of guys have problems with this." So Greg goes out to take a piss, and as you can see by how low Cynthia's casting credits are, she dies in this scene. And then our other gang of zombies, not the ones killing Cynthia right now, find the house from earlier, the House of the Dead, and there are 3 people inside who explain what's going on. And then Simon refers to himself in third person here again. Like, what are you doing? Why do you keep doing that?
You know what? Simon says let's get the hell out of here and let the cops ask questions later while we're kicking it back in Seattle selling our story.
We're given another fucking wild scene transition. Cynthia's dead. She comes out as a zombie. This police officer shows up. The cop joins them. Everyone goes back to the boat. And then we have a chase scene, baby.
Oh, baby, yeah. Keep fucking rubbing her plate. Yeah, let him go. Yeah.
Run like a motherfucker! Greg dies, and so does the momentum that this movie had. The first 40 minutes of this movie are fucking so entertaining. Such a good movie at the beginning. But at this point, everybody heads back to the House of the Dead. And for some reason, the police officer has like military grade guns and a shit ton of them, enough for everybody to have like 1 or 2 guns on them. And everybody has infinite ammo. And there's literally just 15 minutes of everybody shooting zombies here, and that's it. It's literally just a 15-minute montage of zombies being killed. There's also a lot of filming errors in this part of the movie. For example, I think her name is Karma. She walks onto the set with 2 pistols, and she's killing the zombies with the 2 pistols. And then it cuts to her like character introduction part, and she has a shotgun instead. And then it cuts back to her killing zombies, and she now has a shotgun. But I advise you to watch this part, and if you're over the age of 21, take a drink every time that you see something fucked up with the scene. So after this shootout, Kirk is injured, 2 people have died, and then everybody else starts making out. We have Simon and Karma. We have the guy with the wavy hair, Rudy, and Alicia. Is this really the time to get a nut off, guys? After everybody's finished doing their thing, everybody walks around the house to see what's around. They find a secret lab where dead people have been experimented on. And there's a bunch of zombies that break in because Captain Kirk blows himself up outside. Karma also shoots this tank that's full of blood for some fucking reason. She has no reason to, but she just shoots this tank full of blood. Bunch of zombies on the insides that were being experimented on come back to life. And then there's also gunpowder in the basement for some reason, like big ass barrels of gunpowder. Simon stays. He shoots the barrels of gunpowder and blows up the whole house to like save everybody. And I didn't mention up until this point that there's this whole subplot of this guy that was banished to this island because he was like a threat to society in Spain. And then he's still alive. He's been bringing all the people back to life here. Rudy and this guy have a sword fight, and then Rudy gets like fucked up, and then Alicia has a sword fight with this guy. Alicia dies. Rudy's fine afterwards. So the guy that was doing all this shit is dead now. But now he's dead, so is Alicia. Everybody's happy. The end. So that about does it for this video. I just want to take a second out to apologize for not having an upload for the last 2 weeks. I had some wicked busy shit that I was doing with my mom for a week, and then I had some wicked busy shit that I was doing with my job for a week. And yeah, I'm back now. I'm going to try to be more consistent. I know that I keep saying that. Don't hold me to that. But this was the special. I hope you guys liked this one. It took me about a week to write the script for this one. Usually it takes like 2 days or so that I spend on the script. This one I was trying to put a little bit more work into, so I hope it came out good. I hope you guys liked it. I will try to see you next week. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Quidea, and I'll see you next time. Bye.